Entaro Adun Executor. Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to an incredible American? No, Wish.com lineup. ConeOrArc, our resident other YouTuber who probably has more recent gameplay footage on my channel than I do. On account of his incredible skill and his entertaining, aggressive playstyle. He's not just about the memes, he's a very entertaining person to watch. And you can watch him play live. Hashtag sellout, hashtag checkout. ConeOrArc on, what does he do? Mostly YouTube streams, I think, but maybe a little bit of Twitch as well. He's a little bit twitchy, just like me. I tried to get into Twitch streaming, and then my girls got to the age where they solicit me regularly for attention, help, and favors in a most undiplomatic manner. But I love their communication as it comes in squeaks, chirps, and squeals, and I understand how that might not be the favorite method of interaction for some of my viewers. Although I did put up a video recently where the chaos was happening around me. You have probably seen that one already. But I digress. This is indeed the low-tier Chinese lineup, looking at, what is this, around rank 3 with the delightful M4, and I think this might be the... Is this the A4? It looks a little bit longer, which would make it the A4 with its interesting engine design, to say the least, and sporting that classic early Sherman turret on top. A mix of layered cast armor, giving it one of the strongest mantlets at its battle rating, and that strong American 75 coupled with a low-range stabilizer that gives it the best gun handling at its battle rating, and no one need be reminded of the incredible power of American APHE ballistic capped shells. But there's your first primer. Black everything inside the vehicle and move on. Black it and move on, and yet Cone here taking fire from a Brit boy who just can't get the penetration he needs, and he gets blacked in return. Okay, but what makes the Chinese lineup so compelling? I tell you, it's all in the mix. The interracial exchange. No, the international exchange between Soviet and American Lend-Lease, borrowed, copied, stolen, and what else? Sold vehicles? That's right, China was cashing in, other nations cashing out, trading their equipment for a chance at glory on the fields, the rice fields of battle, in and around and about the mighty Chinese Empire. Empire? Let's go with that. The Red Curtain Mark II. As in the game of War Thunder, you can line up your M4, A4, 75mm boy Sherman with its fantastic all-around capabilities with the T-34, the only place in the game, apart from German premiums, where you can do this thing. And this thing is quite nice. Of course, the Sherman that's available to the Germans, available in heavy quotation marks, is possibly the rarest tank in the game. Das German Sherman. Und das ist nicht the A4, which has a charm all its own. The Germans have access to the M4 A3, I think? Not quite sure. I get a little bit confused, but I think the A3 is the one with the cast driver and relief driver periscope armor. I think that's what that is. It's what you see on this one, but again, the M4 is a little bit more of a long boy, which in the game of War Thunder, being traded for, I think, not a higher power to weight ratio, means that the M4A4 actually handles a bit more sloppy than the more compact M4A3. However, 6 kills early in the game, no worries, and one of the strongest light tanks in the game, if not the strongest, tier for tier, is the M24 Chaffee. If you really know how to play a light tank, the Chaffee provides everything you could possibly ask for in the form of a meta light tank. The only thing you need now is an ATGM launcher. But what is it, 3.3 battle rating? This thing is just fantastic. I regularly use my Japanese Chaffee in my 5.0. Excuse me. Still have a bit of a cough. 5.7 lineup, and it is wonderful. Now, in a nod to historical accuracy, as the Chaffee struggles to climb up this cliff, a Spielen? Why not? Das Spielen und das Schießen! Up the cliff face, and now burning track, my room is filled with the smell of burnt rubber. And you say, Toshio, I didn't need to know. But, cool ya jets, is just because I have, in technical terms, a piece of shit vacuum cleaner. And one of the common family traits of piece of shit vacuum cleaners is that they trade low engine power for overall garbage power couplings. We'll call it that. What would be the transmission in a tank is instead a fucking rubber band. That's right, power is transmitted from the whirly bits to the swirly bits in this vacuum cleaner by means of a thick rubber boy. And the problem with having a rubber band drive for your vacuum cleaner is that as soon as this thing starts to eat a hot lunch, which it always does at my house because we have shag carpet from the 60s, that's right, this shag carpet is twice as old as I am. Because we have this thick double K shag carpet in my house, I wanted to get a good vacuum cleaner, and what I got was this melty boy. And it starts melting the drive band whenever I get to the thick part of the carpet, which is the whole carpet. But I digress. Have you noticed? Didst thou witness the power of the ConeOrArc in this, possibly the most powerful regular tech tree lineup available in War Thunder, and yet ignored by the masses? And I tell you, if you're into CAS and kicking ass, the lineup for the Chinese is just as fantastic in the air as it is on the ground at this battle rating. I tell you again, the Chinese tree might be a recycled piece of work, but it contains a list of some of the best meta vehicles at lower tiers on display in the game of War Thunder, all in the same tech tree. And if you want to go premium, then their golden name tags have multiplied as well, giving access to what are essentially copy pasta premiums that are a great way to grind, relax, and rewind to the good old days of World War II Thunder. And again, the close air support is on point with the meta vehicles from two nations that are the strongest in close air support, except perhaps the Germans. But in terms of multi-role fighters, with the P-47, the P-40, I think they have IL-2, and I know they have the PE-2. They have some of the strongest close air support to back up their absolute meta-defining vehicles that continue to be a staple for American and USSR players, all found in one place, available without paying $1. And again, you get good mileage and a pleasant experience out of the premium vehicles available at lower tier as well. And yet, this remains a tech tree that I haven't touched. But with 14 quick kills and a couple of deaths, showing off 3 of the strongest vehicles in the game, you would think that is enough, and indeed, it is satisfactory, but ConeOrArc, as he captures his zone, is not done yet. He has flanked and spanked the enemy team multiple times, and he will do it again! Can you tell I'm excited today? I'm a little bit excited. After this replay, we're going to shift gears. I'm going to share with you something that I have been very much distracted by as a surprise over the past couple of days. I had been hoping to pick up a game called Earth Defense Force 5, which speaks of the series' longevity, coming out for, I think, PlayStation 1, N64, something like that, way back in the day, and with modern iterations, still a delight to play. And it gives me ideas, I tell you, ideas for War Thunder. And I'm not sure what that Sherman 105 driver was thinking, but he was definitely going in the wrong direction. It's not generally advisable to present your side to the enemy team. I'm not sure if he was trying to get his gun on target or what, but of course, the 105 howitzer available in the Sherman 105 has no stabilizer and has very little gun stability, made even worse by the fact that the turret is extremely slow at adjusting onto targets. And with 16 kills, a base cap and an assist, 2 deaths, an incredible streak in the game of War Thunder, in the colors of the Chinese ground forces, entirely relying on the fantastic vehicle lineup available in the regular tech trees of the Chinese line. Not sure, I don't think that was the premium M4A4, but I could be mistaken. In any event, again, the Chinese tech tree, yes, it is copy-paste up to this point, and yet you can take a special advantage of Control-C, Control-V in ways that are rarely seen in the game of War Thunder, pairing up in a very consistent way some of the most reliable vehicles available at the most fun levels of the game. And I hear China's getting a new MBT for top tier. It's not really something that I care about, but, well, you know, maybe pick up another kill there, Cone. My goodness. My goodness. And moving on, you're going to hear Bacon Gaming in the background because I am addicted to multitasking, and there is another major update coming to War Thunder, probably before this video comes out. So welcome to 1.97. Welcome to Swedish ground forces taking over the glass cannon meta. And welcome to Earth Defense Force 5. This is a game that I very much enjoyed in the PC port of Earth Defense Force 4. I think it's called EDF 4.7 or something. 4.1? 4.3. Farpoint Station? Anyway, Captain's Log in my way. This is clearly a game that was designed for console, and I play it with a what is essentially a PS3 controller. It's a wired, what's it called? Logitech. I very much like Logitech controllers. Good quality, nice ergonomics, and fits nicely in the hand. And what are we doing now? We are dropping a napalm airstrike on these buggy boys. Chitinous destructive power. Earth Defense Force 5 and exclusively PvE game. Player versus environment. In other words, you're facing off against computerized enemies. And what we're doing here is we're playing the Air Raider. This is an Air Force themed Special Forces agent, and everything about the characters in EDF is special. As we get grabbed by a giant ant and slammed into the ground a few times, and then blown up by our own airstrike. That's right. We just died, and that's how fast it is to lose in this game. Let's try that again. So, Earth Defense Force 5, as you can tell, anime theme, player versus the computer, and it does have local or network multiplayer available, where I dare say the game truly shines. And if you feel like picking up EDF 5, the biggest sale in its history was happening on Humble Store when I bought it. I don't know if that sale is still going on. It's probably not. But now that the game does go on sale for less than $30, I highly recommend it. Think about this. You could get a rank, maybe a rank 3 premium pack from War Thunder that you might play for a few hours, or you could pick up a game that is delightful and relaxing and worth as much gameplay as you feel like putting into it. My buddy used to have this game where you would like crush bugs on the computer screen. And it was kind of cool because like they would actually crawl across your desktop. It was sort of like a screensaver. That's one of those things that used to exist in the 90s. Screensavers, because our screens used to be powered by nuclear, high density, extreme temperature cathode ray tubes, and such is no longer the case. You would actually need to keep the lights moving on your screen, or it would burn the picture into your monitor. Thus, the screensaver was born. I mean, it was the 90s, right? We didn't care about power efficiency. We wanted to put neat idle animations onto our desktops. I know, explaining the screensaver for an audience of the '20s. And here we have... Did I get to the point with that ever? It was a lot of fun. You could even, like, you'd smash some termites and then you'd get some upgrades. Like, you could buy a hammer, you could buy a flamethrower, you could buy the bug spray. And that's essentially what this game is, only all growed up in a PC port that has all the hallmarks of a PC port, which means that you're better off using a gamepad to control this game, and you're going to have a lot less control options than what you're used to having on PC, as well as less graphical options. But you can see the graphics are fine, even if the enemies move into 4 frames per second once they get to around 100 meters away. But that's just fine. Look at the fun that we're having here. This is one class available in the game, and there are 4 classes that are widely diverse in how they play and how they slay these giant bugs and aliens. And you're basically playing your way through many episodes of Mars Attacks or any number of alien invasion. What are they called where they're all hokey and janky and funky? But those kinds of thriller movies that you used to get in, say, the 50s and 60s. In any event, defending the world from these invading aliens is just a lot of fun, and it's really relaxing. It's one of those things that you can use to sort of cleanse your system after some stressful or dramatic matches of War Thunder. And again, the price is not terrible. And if you want to pick up the earlier iteration of this game, Earth Defense Force 4 point whatever, honestly I feel like it's just as good, and there are a few fun exploits to the game that have been updated away with this version that I think, well, I kind of missed them. You used to be able to take one of the de facto least mobile units of the game, the Fencer, who is essentially an anime Iron Man wearing a power assist suit to carry heavy armor and equipment onto the battlefield. You can see some of those fencers off to my right there, carrying their heavy shields and their heavy guns, and you could take that extremely immobile tank man and turn him into the most mobile class in the game by pulling off some speed dashes and animation cancels, and it was a lot of fun. That's been patched out and replaced with something a little bit more balanced, but of course a little bit less fun in the process in this version of the game. However, there is a wealth of new content. It definitely delivers everything that Earth Defense Force 4 brought to the table, which again is a very competent and enjoyable game in both its console and PC versions. I recommend the console port, and that's going for a fairly low price these days. So hop yourself onto isthereanydeal.com, which is one of my favorite places to shop for games, because it collates a series of reliable, reputable websites and tells you if there's a deal on the game that you're looking for, as well as what the lowest price in history has been and what it's currently going for on a variety of websites. That is how, in fact, I found out that on Humble Store this game was 50% off, and I even happened to get an additional discount because I picked up this month's Humble Choice bundle, where you can choose from, I think you can select like 9 games out of a list of a variety of mostly trash games, but there's always a few interesting ones on there, and it's worth looking into. I can't remember what the price is on that now, but I have the legacy price, which is like $12 per month that I want to roll with it, and I can put it to sleep when I decide that one of the months is just kind of trash. So this has been a public service announcement. There are some fantastic places to get low prices on games, and I've been enjoying my side game experience with Earth Defense Force 5, which is just a total meme for me to enjoy. I might have to make an EDF skin for one of these new vehicles coming in update 1.97. They look like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what the experience would be like, especially for Sweetie Boy Ground Forces and the A4. Attackers and glass cannons, two things that warm my heart. In any event, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I threw in a little curveball there at the end, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.